now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's the one, the only, PoClpodcast.
It's PoGo! PoGo! It's PoGo! PoGo! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! PoGo! PoGo.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the PoClpodcast. I'm your host, Trainer Thatch, back once again. Probably, I think I'm good for the rest of the year almost. That's good. But today I'm joined by Seth Vilo.
Yay, it me with weird resonance to my voice because I'm congested.
Yay. And Lynian.
It me with weird resonance to my voice because it's 7:15.
Yeah, it is that time. Welcome to the PoClpodcast. Puckle, of course, standing for the Pokemon Underground Champions League, a nonsensical name we came up with in 2007, where we talk everything Pokemon, from the trading card game to the video game to everything in between. I think today's almost an in-between day. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, right in between those two things you said, actually.
Yeah. Welcome, but yeah, we're excited to be here. I haven't done anything yet, Pokemon-wise, this week. This is like a weird week in between travel for me.
Mm.
And then my favorite thing is it's my last work-related travel that I know about for a very long time.
Know
about? So I'm very excited to be done.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. I'm just so tired. Like, it's bad when you actually, like, without cheating the system by getting a credit card or something, like, hit status with an airline or a hotel.
Oh, that's...
Like, that's when you know it's bad. Like, that's when you know it's bad.
Yikes.
So, yeah, I'm a Hilton Gold member.
Look at you, Mr. Fancy.
Mr. Fancy Pants, yeah. Isn't that terrifying?
A little bit.
Yeah. I have to go to Tampa this week for some kind of conference that I applied for. It's mostly like a professional society. So, like, I'm literally doing it for, like, the career checkbox, and I care nothing about it. I care so little about it because like I'm like head of the local chapter or whatever because I didn't say no. And so I'm like, well, I should probably go to the national meeting just to be there. And so that's what I'm doing. But like I'm just doing the checkbox, you know.
Fair enough.
I get back and my boss gets to go, "Oh, you checked that box. That's great.
You did it.
You did it." And I hate going to the bigger conferences. Like you just don't get anything done. Like honestly.
Yeah.
You don't really get much done in terms of like networking there.
That's fair. There's a certain like limit.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's just like too spread out in like what's being discussed. And so you either get one of two results. One, you just get like the clicks that form with the smaller conferences that you would have just gone to anyway. Or or you get nothing out of it. Like because it's just too widespread.
Very fair. Yeah.
So, yeah. Thankfully, I'll be going though. It's fine.
Woo!
I am getting there late and leaving it early. So I'm okay with that.
That's very fair.
I'm so tired of travel. You don't even understand.
I don't, and I'm glad that I don't, honestly.
I'm happy for everybody who doesn't understand, actually. Like 3 years ago, if somebody would have told me like, oh, hey, you're going to travel a lot for work and like you're going to go do all this other stuff like while you're traveling, I would have been like, wow, that sounds awesome. And now that I've done it, I'm just like, maybe I should just not do this anymore.
Maybe not.
Like, not at all.
Maybe no.
Maybe no. Maybe
never
maybe no.
again.
So I don't think I have anything on the docket until like June. And I will say, I will relish that. Yeah, for now. Like I'm waiting. Something will come up. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
But
You always do.
Well, anything new with you guys other than playing TCG Pocket?
I got a cat.
You got a cat.
Got a cat. Cats are cool. I like cats.
Yeah. Her name is Akili. She's adorable.
Whoa, don't dox your cat, bro.
She does cat stuff. Is it an orange cat? Is it an orange cat? Is it like a orange cat?
No, she thankfully has slightly more brain cells, but only slightly.
Okay, I think the orange cat brain cell thing is a myth based on my orange cat.
Based on my orange cat, that's a data point in its favor, so we're getting mixed data here.
Yeah, my orange cat is very, very intelligent. He's very ornery, but he's very intelligent. But the other one's just food oriented. So
Well, Hakili, she came from we picked her up at a local shelter, but apparently she was surrendered by her owner who was going into memory care. But she was surrendered in Hawaii and was sent here.
Weird.
Whoa.
That's a
What?
long.
Yeah,
what?
it was.
They put the cat on a
very
plane.
strange. So hence the name.
You thought your travel was bad, Thatch.
Yeah, poor cat.
Have you tried being a cat?
Next time I'll be a cat.
Everybody wants to be one, you know.
The cat's the only cat
I think
that
about
knows
it.
where it's at. Yes.
Exactly.
I think about it. I have like a weird 2 months coming up too, in such that my wife decided that we were canceling all of our D&D games for the rest of the calendar year.
Oh, okay.
No, she makes a good point because like a lot of people are having holiday like parties
Yeah.
and stuff. And typically around this time anyway, like we also try to squeeze in like a couple one-shots for like people outside of our D&D group that like maybe want to like see what it's like. So she made a good point. She made a valid point. So now I get to spend my weekends doing home improvement, which I'm semi excited about, but also it's work. Yeah, I mean, Seth, you've been to my house, but I cleaned out my wood shop recently.
Ooh, look at you.
That whole section of that basement is just like empty now.
Nice.
I'm actually gonna like knock out a wall in my basement and finish that section as an additional room.
That's cool. And I think you
Yeah.
did your porch recently too, right? Or somewhat recently. Didn't you post about that?
Yeah, I did actually. Yeah, no, this is home improvement. This is this old house at Thatch's.
The Puckle, the home improvement show.
The Puckle home improvement show. No, I did take like last month. I took a week off and I did a retaining wall in my backyard because I had cut my deck in half because nobody needs a 20-foot by 20-foot deck.
In theory.
It was also like poorly maintained by the previous owner. So I would have to rebuild it anyway. And I'm like, I don't need that much of a deck.
Oh, yeah. Fixing things from previous owners has been the theme
Yeah.
recently.
I mean, that's my entire life right now. I'm not going to lie to
Yeah.
you. I think that's every home improvement project I do. It's just like fixing the things that he did wrong.
Why did you do this?
Yeah.
I had to do that with my bathroom recently because there was a leak.
Yeah,
And
I believe that.
when I got the mitigation team in and we started pulling up the flooring, turns out that the
No.
previous owners had just slapped new floor on top of the old floor, and the toilet connection.
That's surprisingly common.
Oh yeah, the toilet connection flange was also the number one, the wrong one for the pipes. Number two, below the floor line, so no wonder it was leaking.
They like they have a solution for that. Like when you put the floor on top of the old floor, they have a solution for that for the toilets. Like they have that exists.
Guess who didn't do it?
Yeah, I know. My neighbor across the street's a contractor, and I was talking with him the other day because he came and he helped us out with something in our basement about a year ago because we had a small water leak or something that ruined the wall, and I'm like, I just don't want to do the drywall. Like,
yeah.
And he came over and he's like, oh, so this is what the previous owner did before you bought it. And I'm like, because he's like looking at the basement. I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, this all checks out.
This all checks out.
And when we're looking at it, he's like, the contractor that he brought in to do this, they were not great.
Oof.
And it's very evident. Like if you ever like walk around my basement too much, like one of the walls is definitely not mounted to the floor, to the concrete.
I feel like we talked about that. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's just loose.
Nice.
Like if you bump into that wall, you'll knock it like a solid inch out of the way.
Oh no.
Yeah. It's so ridiculous. So I plan on fixing some of that. But I also have to fix my stairs to my basement again. But yeah, that's a whole thing.
Yeah.
You should buy a house if you can, but like welcome to home ownership. Like
But get ready to learn a lot.
If you don't have one and you're listening to this, it's fine. You won't.
Oof. I didn't say it.
Puckle, the real
how
show.
dare both of you two homeowners go oof to that?
I know.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay to be privileged if you're aware of it. Sometimes.
Yikes.
So on that note, Pokemon Pocket though.
Pokemon Pocket. Yippee.
Pokemon Pocket though. That has been my Pokemon this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some news, so let's kick it on over to the news.
Town radio tower. This just in.
Welcome to the news. In the news, we've got a few things to talk about. First of all, Nintendo updated their Nintendo Switch Online app to include music streaming, including Scarlet and Violet music. I am very confused by this.
That's what people were talking about. Okay, that makes more sense.
They're just like, yeah, we just made our own Spotify, but only for Nintendo music. And you also have to pay us a subscription.
Weird.
Yeah.
I kind of dig it because I like just background music. I need to look and see what's on it. What's on it?
I don't know what's on it right now. But
6 Switch games and then 2 like really old games.
I'm also just like really surprised at how few, like how they just didn't upload their entire library already. And then 2, the fact that they did this at all, I don't know. The advertisement, they have one video advertisement for this where they show the person, because there's a phone app and there's a Switch app for it.
Okay.
And they're just like, yeah, listen to it on the go. And they've got somebody plugging headphones into their Nintendo Switch and then putting it in their purse.
Oh. And
I'm like, what is happening right now? This is the most inoptimal way to listen to this. just put it on your phone. I think you'll be fine. Just put it on your phone. It's gonna be fine, guys. That one was the most frustrating one to me.
I remember I had a pair of cargo pants that was big enough that I could put the entire Switch into my pocket. So I guess it would be appropriate for that.
How did you have a Nintendo Switch in like 2005, Seth?
You assume that I stopped wearing cargo shorts in 2005.
I know. You were there wearing them at the wedding. Yeah, just right up.
Yeah,
right
in the front of everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were over the suit pants.
You said "come as you are."
Yeah.
The suit pants for over the cargo shorts. That feels right.
Yeah.
No, it's the other way around.
Yeah.
But yes. That is a thing that exists. Additionally, our topic today, TCG Pocket has passed 10 million downloads already. Woo! And there's an event that started with Meowth and Chansey promos in Wonderpick. And apparently there's also a Lapras EX event coming soon. All right. Well, Scarlet and Violet news. There's more than there was like weeks ago, so go for it, Lynian.
Yeah, there's definitely some Scarlet and Violet news. Dark for Alligator is the latest TCG set, 7-star raid. It opens with the Sword Stance and carries Psychic and Ice coverage, with EQ happening once in the middle of the battle.
Funky.
Mm-hmm.
The Team Star Challenge has announced for this weekend as well. It's a BSS event that has you make a team of 25 Pokemon. It's more accurately 24. Don't use Pawnyard. Use the Team Star character alongside your own Starmobile, which is required to be brought in every match. Cassiopeia's team is not included.
Yeah. So you pick from the 25? That's you
get to so you bring Referral and then 5 more. Like you
okay. So okay.
So you have to bring Referral to every match, and then you get to pick 5 more from this list. It is a very interesting list to me, looking at it, because
it's just the boss Pokemon, so yeah.
Yeah.
Like
it's just what they all had on their teams.
Yeah. So it's just a very interesting list, because like of the 25 Pokemon though, like they count out, like they're calling out both Pawnyard and King Gambit. No Bisharp is allowed.
Because you fight Pawnyard in the first wave, and then they have their rematch teams where he has a King Gambit.
Oh, that's what the deal is. Okay.
Yeah. So like there's some like middling Pokemon that like you probably shouldn't use. Mostly Pawnyard. I think everybody else has like decent Pokemon in it. Like Passimian, that's decent. Armarouge is pretty good. Annihilate. So there's some good stuff in there. It does sound fun. This is like one of the more fun online competitions they've had in a long time, so I'm very, very happy about that. All right, Pokemon Go. That's also you, Lynian.
Woo! Yeah, there's a lot of purple.
There's a lot
Harvest
today.
Festival event running the 7th through the 12th. It'll offer increased shiny odds for Pumpkaboo, and shiny Smoliv is being added if you want a black olive.
Shiny Smoliv's a good shiny, at least. Like, that's a good shiny.
Yeah. Mankey Community Day is Sunday the 10th. I believe that's how you get I believe Annihilape's already in the game.
Yes.
It is now, I think, yeah.
Great. You should go get yourself a slightly different blue Annihilape. And to the surprise of no one, they did nerf Gigantamax raids because
Good.
Those were disgustingly bad. But I wonder if they like botched the launch so badly that they like nobody wants to do them anyway.
Yeah.
Like
that's the impression that I was getting.
Like I think they just botched it real bad based on a lot of conversations I've seen around it. That it's just not gonna work out.
Oh well.
We'll see. There's some TCG news though, Seth, that I'll let you get into.
So the most pertinent TCG news is that the Surging Sparks set releases on Friday of this week, which means if your local game store did a pre-release or whatever, you can start buying it now. When the show comes out today.
Yeah.
Yay. Which is going to be exciting. Yeah.
I'm excited.
And now that the set is basically out, that means it's time to announce the next one, which is following the format of, Dark Fire plus a Surging Electric something as the second set, and now the third set is something to do with evolution. That's their formula. So this one is, oh gosh, what is it called?
Wait, this is like the special set though. This isn't the real set, right?
No, it's the real set.
Oh, what's the real set?
The real set.
What's that one?
I need to look it up.
I was mostly thinking about the Eevee one, which is the special set.
The Eevee one is the set. It's Prismatic Evolutions.
I thought Prismatic Evolutions was that's the special set.
That's the next set. No, that's the regular old set.
I'm looking this up. No, it's a special set. It is 100% a special set. It comes out January 17th. That's the special set date.
Oh, special set releasing January 17th. It adds 175 cards though. So
it does add a lot of cards. I wonder how many of them are just like alternate arts though.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like it could be like, oh, we're adding cards, but they're actually just like adding alternate arts of cards that already exist.
Yeah, I guess it is. You can get the like ETB and things like that, and all that kind of nonsense.
They've got like they have the booster bundle. They have their surprise box, which is a new thing. But yeah, I want the one with the I want the product. They have one with the Eevee accessory pouch.
Oh that's.
I just want the accessory pouch.
The pouch is kind of cute, I will say.
I will use that for D&D.
Yeah. Okay, so this will be scattered throughout pretty much all of next year, is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, that's what happened with Crown Zenith, and it still kind of happens with what was the one after that? Oh my gosh, the one with the Mimikyu on the ETB. Paldean Fates.
Paldean Fates. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it comes out with a bunch of cards, and we've seen some of them so far, including EXs of pretty much all the evolutions that didn't have one already.
Yeah, they all
some
have
of them
stellar.
are kind of funky.
They all have stellar, too.
They all have stellar type, so the energy costs are weird, but then, I mean, there's things like an Umbreon that says discard all energy attached to this Pokemon and draw a prize.
Yeah.
Which is kind of neat. Are you going to win that way? No, but it's kind of fun.
I don't know, you might be able to. I mean, it's like a niche thing for funsies, right? Like,
I'm gonna make a Regigigas Umbreon deck and take all 6 prizes. Take that, Pheasantipity players. I'm not gonna activate your guy.
That'd be so funny.
It would be so funny. So bad, but so funny.
So bad, but so you are absolutely correct.
Mm-hmm. So that's what's coming out. There's tins as well. There's textured Evolution EX promos, so you get fancy ones. There's a couple updates as well to TCG Live. So,
I like these updates. These are great updates.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, they're kind of funky. One of them is they're dropping the overall game length, which was previously 25 minutes per player, to 20 minutes per player. So you've got to be a little bit quicker doing your actions.
If it were 15 minutes, I think it's a real change, but yeah. Because like I've definitely played against people who have gone under 10 minutes left. But I don't think there have been very few games where I've gone under 5 minutes left.
I think just the ticking timer look will help people kind of get their act together and go faster.
I hope so.
Hopefully. So other than that, though, they've also going to be removing the premium side of the battle pass, making it just a regular old battle pass that you just kind of work your way through, and expanding it to 75 levels from what it was previously. So
that's exciting. An extra 25 levels. I'm really okay with that because I didn't really see the value in the premium, especially since they never monetized it. like I thought they
you
would.
just kind of drop gemstones in and whatever, and it's just
I don't know, like TCG Live is following perfectly the monetization scheme of any free-to-play game. And I was just like, oh yeah, when can I buy gems? And they just never released that.
Never did
that.
It's fine.
I'm kind of okay with that, though.
Topic today we'll be having a different
yippee.
Yeah, no, that one's
kidding.
certainly different. Yes.
Yeah, there's another part of it too that they teased something about some kind of economy and something system that they're going to be dropping more information on later. So be on watch for some kind of yet to be revealed as of today economy system that's coming sometime relatively soon.
The economy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be weird. So
it's the economy, stupid.
Yeah. Economy, yippee. The other item that's highlighted here in my color is that Puckle's Badge Bonanza is now Gen 4 Nuzlocke starting this month.
It's exciting.
I will start that today.
That is part of what I am doing today as well, is I'm going to go get my Brilliant Diamond booted up, and I'm going to go play.
Any Gen 4 Pokemon, any Gen 4 game is acceptable.
Yep.
It does not have to be those two. If you want to go replay.
Yep.
Why
It's
can't
exciting.
I think of
Diamond
names?
and Pearl and Platinum?
Yeah, but I was trying to think of Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but my brain just said no.
If you like walking slow.
If you like walking slow.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Wo-Chien's News Corner. News brought to you at a snail's pace. 10 years ago this week, the prequel animation to Deontay and the Cocoon of Evolution, or the Cocoon of Destruction, my bad, released in the West. The Symphonic Evolutions tour was announced for Pittsburgh, and the Eon ticket was announced to work with Street Pass. Actually, those last few things were actually really cool.
Those were.
Symphonic Evolutions was actually really awesome. And the Eon ticket with Street Pass was also awesome. I remember like trying to get it for so long.
That was so cool.
Street Pass is so cool. I miss it.
Yeah. I think I saw on Twitter, like some person was carrying their DS around and was like, "Oh my god, a green dot! What the heck?"
They took it to Japan with them, and like in the Japanese countryside, and they got a ping.
They got a green dot.
I mean, that's wild.
So funny.
That's wild. All right, Puckle's Pokey opinion, relevant for today. Mewtwo, Pikachu, or Charizard? Which do you open? So I didn't realize that I should only be opening one since it was the same. I thought they were just the same set with 3 different arts.
I did too. I didn't realize
there is a difference. So I've just been opening the Mewtwo one because I feel like getting a cool Mewtwo would be really cool.
I feel like that's a really good deck too. I've been seeing some chatter on Twitter about people having success, and Gardevoir Mewtwo seems to be doing good.
I should be going for like the Blastoise or something because like Misty is a really decent
too.
card in TCG Pocket.
I got Blastoise EX and then I got the full art Misty almost immediately.
Oh my gosh.
That's so fun.
It's fine. I haven't gotten anything else. I had to craft both War Turtles.
I haven't crafted anything.
Oh, this doesn't
yet.
feel good, actually.
But we can talk about that later.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, we are going to go ahead and kick it on over to Puckle's Poke Quiz, where we're going to quiz your co-host on their insane Pokemon knowledge.
Oh, hi, and welcome to the Poke Quiz, the part of the show where we quiz our co-hosts on their insane Pokemon knowledge. I'm Mark from the Dunsparce Gang, here to explain the rules. Our fabulous co-hosts will work as a team to answer 5 Pokemon-themed trivia questions that fans have submitted on the Discord server. Each question is worth 1 point, with Pokedex and multiple answer questions worth more, for a total of 7 points. The host can use a free hint at any time. If they get all the answers correct and do not use the hint, they can cash it in for an 8th point.
Thank you for that introduction. We're going to jump right on into it. Our first question this week is going to come from Scarfed. What type has the fewest number of gym leaders? I don't even know how I should have read that before I read it out loud, but continue. Tell me, guys, which type has the fewest number of gym leaders?
Is there anything that only has 1 gym leader?
Absolutely.
I feel like dark. I feel like there was a meme about it being dark.
It is Dark, because Dark only has one gym leader, and Fairy somehow has two.
Yeah.
I think Fairy has more than two. Well, no, I think it's only
No,
one.
because it's
two.
only got Valerie
two.
and...
Yeah, you're right. The answer is Dark, unless you want to count like Piers and Marnie as like different gym leaders.
Gym leaders?
No, I do not count them as different gym leaders.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It's the same gym.
It's the same gym, absolutely. All right, well, that's 1 for 1. Your next question is going to come to you from, I like this name, so that's how I'm choosing it. From Terrablaze.
All right.
Which Mega Pokemon was the only Mega to not gain a full 100 points in its base stats in Generation 6?
Oh, I know this. Alakazam, because they forgot about the extra points that they gave Alakazam to one of its stats and only gave it 90 bonus points.
You are correct. It is Alakazam, and they did. They did fix it in Generation 7.
Yeah.
Where they gave it an additional 10 points to its special defense.
Yep.
But yeah, they forgot about the stat boost they did in Gen 6. I remember when they did the rebalance in Gen 6. All right, well, you're 2 for 2, so your next question's your Pokedex question, as always.
Woo!
All right, I like this one based on the name again. This is Jared Cornelius Fan.
All right.
Okay.
Its Omega Ruby entry reads, it races through narrow caves, using its sharp claws to catch prey. The skin on its face is harder than a rock. Who's that
What?
Pokemon? It races through narrow caves, using its sharp claws to catch prey. The skin on its face is harder than a rock.
I feel like this is Druddigon.
I feel like it's either Druddigon or one of the Garchomp line, but I think it's Druddigon.
I think it's Druddigon because Druddigon has an ability in PTU called Cave Crasher, and I
There you
always
go.
wondered where that came from. And the idea of it literally having a dex entry crashing through caves fits about that game's design ethos.
Yeah, and Gibble talks about biting. Gabite talks about how it likes shiny things.
And like Druddigon has a different colored head.
Exactly.
All right,
Druddigon.
so we're going to go Druddigon. Druddigon
Yeah.
is correct. Druddigon,
Yippee!
in parentheses next to it, Drud the Stud. I don't know where this is coming
Drud the
from,
Stud.
but I'm okay with that. The extra entry was going to come from Pokemon Black, and it was going to say it warms its body by absorbing sunlight with its wings. When its body temperature falls, it can no longer move.
Okay.
All right. Well, you guys are 4 for 3. Your next question is your multiple answer question, as always. There are 6 answers to this question.
There are 43 answers.
There are 47 answers to this question. No, there are 6 answers to this question.
You think you know types? Name every type.
There are 6 answers to this question. And I will give you a maximum of 2 points on this question because you're doing too well. And we will the way it's going to work is if you give me 3 answers, I'll give you a point. If you give me 2 answers, I'll give you a second point. And if you give me all 6, you can pat yourselves on the back.
Huzzah.
This is from The Afterman. There are currently 35 moves that can cause the opponent to flinch. Number 36 was low kick, only in generations 1 and 2. Parentheses.
Weird.
So,
Okay.
Of these, only 6 of these are special attacks.
Oh,
Can you name?
okay.
Can you name them all?
Dark Pulse,
Ooh.
Fiery Wrath.
You have to
Yep.
lock them in, obviously, but those
Yeah,
are
lock in,
correct.
lock in.
Those are both correct.
And here we are.
I think Extrasensory?
Yes, I think so. How many strikes do we get again?
3 strikes and then you're out.
3 strikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, extrasensory sounds right. Lock in.
Extrasensory is correct. That is correct. There are 3 more.
Yay.
That is 1 point. You guys got 1 point.
Okay. Night Days does not. That
No,
lowers
that's an accuracy
accuracy.
dropper.
Water Pulse? No, that's confusion.
I'm trying to think.
I'm feeling like there's some legendary thing.
Like,
some
that's
legendaries
almost
move.
certain.
Oh, Air Slash.
Oh, right. Duh.
Shaman.
Air Slash.
Lock in.
Air Slash is correct. That is 4. One more and you get all the
Twister.
points. Are you locking in Twister?
Yes.
That is correct. That is all the points. There's one more.
Nice.
I can give you 5 seconds or so.
I have no idea.
No idea. Yeah, I don't know.
It is Snore. It is Snore.
What?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fun fact.
For all you fast rest talkers.
Yes.
Gotta sleep quickly.
Yeah. So there you go. That is your perfect score of 2 points.
Trick
You are
room
6 for
rest
4.
talk.
Your next question is your base stat question, as always. We're out of Spoopy month, so we go back to normal. And by that, we're gonna go for this question from Boofalord. I don't know if this is just Liger or not again. What normal type has the highest base defense?
Normal type, highest base defense.
Yep.
So what's Terapagos in...
Super duper form?
Yeah. Because I
honestly have no idea. I have not retained Terapagos' stats in my brain.
And, like, it's stellar... No.
Yeah, it's not normal type,
I mentioned
actually.
this offhand to my husband the other day. I was like, does anyone talk about the fact they introduced a 19th type and just no one cares? I think it's
Is it a type, though?
Either...
Is it a type? It's just like a state.
No, and that's,
it's like a state,
It's a
not
state.
really a type.
Yeah.
It's got to be higher than 120, otherwise it's Arceus.
Yeah.
Are there any
gosh.
normal megas?
Normal megas? I mean...
There's Lopunny.
Yeah, I can't think of defensive normals.
There's
What the heck?
Autono.
Is there a normal rock? No.
No, there are normal rock
That would be a
types.
stupid thing that they would do. Just like, yeah, it's so strong. Normal rock.
Do you know what Autonos is?
Not high. It's based on HP.
Mega Autono.
I don't know, actually. I don't think it's
Because they
higher
can't
than...
have buffed its HP. It had to have been into its defenses because it's
I
not
don't think
an
it's higher
attacker.
than Arceus, though.
That's only 120. That's not that high of a threshold. I'm leaning towards either terastallized, super Terapagos, or Audino. Mega Audino.
I feel like Terapagos is the right answer there.
Okay. We'll say Terra,
Super
whatever,
Stellar
Terapagos.
Mega Super Saiyan 3 Terapagos.
That is incorrect.
Rats.
The answer is Mega Audino at 126.
Dang it. I'm sorry.
Followed up by Arceus and Blood Moon Ursaluna at 120.
What?
Regigigas and both Terapagos Stellar and Terastal at 110. And then Miltank and regular Ursaluna at 105. Yeah. Not a lot of defensive normal types there.
Yeah, that's a weird stat combo. I didn't think of it.
But that still gives you guys 6 points today. And I'm sure that will change things up. We are getting very close to the bottom. I haven't decided if we might do, depending on how things shake out, the episode that releases on December 2nd might just be the play-in round. Might be the play-in round because it does, we have a 3-way tie for 4th still. Oh, no, we don't anymore, actually.
Haha.
Maybe we'll have a runners-up cycle or something. But in first place now, we have Seth Vilo with 37 points.
Wow.
Dab.
In second place, we've got Whimsicott with 36. In third, we have Bocephus with 35. In fourth, we have Lynian with 30. In a 3-way tie for 5th, we've got Claude9 with 28. And as well as R Sigma and Shark Finnegan. In 8th place, we've got Jushiro with 21. Sublime is in 9th with 20. And Dr. Shamu is in 10th with 17. It's almost there. It's almost time. It's still anybody's game. Anybody can still make it in time. So with that, stay tuned and listen in next week to see who gets closer. Until then, though, guys, we are going to kick it on over to the topic. Hey, Thatch here. A lot of you have been asking how you can hang out with us during the week. Well, the best way to do so is come to our Discord server at puclpodcast.com. You can join our server and you can hang out with us, talk Pokemon, battle, do a bunch of cool things, join in our tournaments. So what's stopping you? Come on over, puclpodcast.com. You can jump right on in and have a good time talking with the hosts of the show, as well as the large community we've gathered over the years. So come on, let's hang out. Welcome to the topic. Our topic today is Pokemon TCG Pocket, the holiday release for Pokemon in 2024.
Woo.
Woo. That's the right sound, Lynian.
Dual Links 2.
Yay.
I mean, it's exactly Dual Links, which is kind of what I thought it would be when they announced it. Like, in terms of the gameplay, like if you were to play the TCG part of that instead of just collecting the cards. Like, my wife just wants to open the packs, which is fine. It's a little bit of, like, cracking the packs and having a good time. The thing that really gets me, like, just, like, right at the beginning, and this is something that, like, is going to influence a lot of my discussion and review of this as a Pokemon product. Why should I spend money on this when I can just go spend money on, like, physical cards? Have those physical cards. I know it's a different game, and it's not, like, it's not exactly one-to-one, but I think I'd much rather, like, if I were to spend any money on Pokemon cards, I would rather do it on actual cards.
Yeah.
That is kind of my overall take. And so that's like, does this fit into my Pokemon fandom? Like, trying to see how it fits into there. I do have, like, some positive things to say in terms of, like, game design, but I think, like, the execution of the overall, like, ecosystem is a little iffy.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can, of course, have different opinions, but for those of you who do not know what this game is, Pokemon TCG Pocket, you can download it on your phone right now. You get to open Pokemon cards, and they are not cards that are real, honestly. Like, I don't know that any of the cards.
They're virtual cards.
They're virtual cards, but they're not like cards that have like if you were to go buy a pack of cards at Target.
Yeah, no,
you aren't going to pull these cards.
They're for a different game system entirely.
Yeah, you're not going to pull these cards because the game that you play with them is different than the normal TCG, which honestly, like, I think that's probably the highlight of the app. I just think that there's issues.
It's self-contained. Yeah, it
is self-contained, which is nice to some extent. There is another TCG app for your phone right now. You can just download TCG Live and play with the real cards and play the real game. But I can understand why you wouldn't want to do that, especially the way that TCG Pocket is lined up. It fits a niche in the market, much like we said, like, when it was announced months ago, like back in February, right? That it was announced at Pokemon Day.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
With Z to A. One of the big things with TCG Pocket is that it does seem to me, at least, like a very good gateway drug.
Yeah.
Into playing the actual TCG. Like, you open packs, you collect cards. The gameplay in terms of deck building and playing the game is much different. It's much quicker. I mean, if I would ever hit a 25-minute timer in TCG Pocket, so help me God. And part of that is that, like, there's only so many cards in it right now, I think.
Exactly. Yeah, there's very few.
Yeah, I mean, especially, like, if you just look at, if you were to go play the normal Pokemon TCG right now, 30 out of 60 cards in every deck are trainers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is definitely not the case in TCG Pocket, only because there's not that many trainer cards. And most of them, honestly, aren't that good.
Yeah.
And a sixth of your deck is energy cards, which don't exist in this game.
Yeah, which don't exist.
Which is kind of an interesting thing. It's really weird to wrap my head around that one, because I'm like, I have habits where it's like, okay, what if I don't draw an energy next turn?
Yeah.
I need to make sure that no.
No, for me, I just sit there and I go, okay, maybe I can make my opponent not have an energy in their hand.
Yeah.
That it works like that for me. Like, I have that training.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, wait, never mind.
Wait, they will. They have access.
They will. Every turn, they'll have an energy, regardless of what I do. There's all, like, there's no gusting yet either, which is kind of nuts.
Yes, there is.
Oh, is there?
Nope, there's There's not, you can't choose what gets brought up, but Sabrina is basically a boss's orders.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. Sabrina is close to a boss.
I haven't gotten much wind of what the meta is.
The problem is like their bench is like always full. Like the bench is just always full with deck construction.
The 3-card bench, yeah.
Part of what I want to like this game a lot more than I ended up doing so, and part of it is it feels like they just don't give you enough cards to work with.
Oh, certainly.
Like, we're talking pretty definitively about this gameplay, and
yes,
the point of the fact is, like, I don't think anyone has enough info to know, because it's so hard to get the cards.
Yes.
And you get 5 in a pack. Like, and you would think, and with every other online card game that I know of, you get, like, just a brick of starter cards. They may not be good, but they're enough to theoretically build something. You just don't. You do not get that.
I agree with that. That's very frustrating. Like, even just in like TCG Live, like if you were to make a TCG Live account right now and you were to start from 0 on TCG Live, right now they're just going to hand you new decks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're just going to hand you new decks, and you're going to have, it's going to be mostly a functional card deck. And here I agree with you. They don't even, I think it would have been it would have behooved them to at least give us like a crappy EX deck so that you go, hey, this is something powerful. Like you just,
or even just, I'm not even saying an EX deck. Like, they give you the little, like, Rapidash deck or whatever to start off.
Oh, I got a Sandslash deck. How did y'all get a Rapidash deck?
Wait, you got a Sandslash?
Yeah, I got a Sandslash deck. That was my starter.
I got a Rapidash. I got a Rapidash, too.
You don't get to pick it, and it's...
That was going to be one of my questions. Like, did all of us get the same thing?
No, we didn't, apparently. I didn't realize that was something that could change.
But you get that, but it's not even... there should be at least like one other one, because like, oh, they have this whole thing. It's like, oh, if you pull a good card, like if you pull an EX or a showcase card, you get a rental deck. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. You can't use these cards,
but it's limited rental uses too.
Like, you get to use it 10 times, including against the AI. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh,
I'm sorry, what? Never heard of that before.
I do agree with that criticism, and I think the cost of crafting a card is very high. Like an EX is 500 whatever credits to craft, and you get
I thought it was 15.
No, it's 500 to craft an EX. To craft an EX card, and the crafting like currency you get is 5 credits per pack.
Yeah,
which is insanely low. So you have to open 100 packs to be able to make one EX card.
I did just discover that I can use these hourglasses for something.
Oh, the hourglasses help speed it up, and they feed you a lot of them when you start the game.
Yeah, they did. I just opened 10 Mewtwo packs.
They will feed you a lot at the beginning of the game, and it is to get you hooked on opening packs so that you feel like you're getting somewhere.
Just like phonics.
Well, I do wish, like, if you got extra cards, so the deck building's different, so technically you only need 2 of any card.
Yeah.
Because you're allowed a max of 2 copies of any card in your deck.
Because your decks are 20 cards.
They're only 20 cards, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because 1, there's no energy, and 2, it's a much faster game. You're only trying to go for 3 prizes. I'm going to put prizes in quotes because there are no prize cards, like there are in typical Pokemon TCG. You just get points for knockouts.
Which is nice.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I honestly think...
I kind of like it.
I honestly think that the way they have it set up for gameplay is, like I said, very good for bringing new players into the game.
Yeah.
Because I think that if I was somebody who was intimidated by the Pokemon TCG, which there are people who are.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to say that the Pokemon TCG game, like to be like a competent player, I don't think it's very difficult to do personally. But I do think it does take some time to get your brain to think the right way.
Yeah.
And that can be intimidating. And that can certainly be intimidating. And I think this is a great way to lower that barrier to entry. Like, this is the best AI, like, Pokemon TCG that exists right now, which is kind of sad.
I am learning its behaviors, though, but go on.
Yes, I understand. It is very easy to read.
It does assume that more actions is good.
Yes. It is the best one, though, unfortunately. Like, I do wish we had, like, a TCG Game Boy game again, equivalent, right, with modern cards or something like that. Or even if just, like, TCG Live included something like that. But you can't get them to include Expanded or, like, anything else right now, so that'll probably never happen. I don't know. That's one of my big thoughts with it, but I do agree with Lynian that, like, it's very driven towards monetization, and it's really bad at giving you cards to build decks.
Yeah. to start off with anyway.
Which honestly makes it like not that great of an experience for myself, because I do want to be able to enjoy it. And I think it's something that I can enjoy with my wife. Well, also, they haven't included like in-person trading or trading with friends yet, which is kind of a bummer.
They have not added training.
In the Pokemon trading card game app. In the Pokemon trading card game Pocket app, there is no trading, which is, it feels like Pokemon Go. Honestly, I would...
Ridiculous of you to expect that, though.
Like, my overall impression of TCG Pocket is that it's the Pokemon Go of TCG.
Yeah.
It is very easy entry level. And you might actually get some people that like will jump into the TCG because of this. I think they could also make a pretty penny off of it, because there will be people who are just going to wail on it. I really dislike when new things like this come out, because I get fed a lot of like YouTube shorts and stuff like that where people are playing it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You get those YouTubers that like you can tell are faking the excitement because it's just something new and hot they want to play, and like in 2 weeks it'll be gone.
Yeah.
From their repertoire of like streaming or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will see. It's probably going to die off. I mean, this will die off eventually. People will play it. I think it will bring people into the TCG, maybe like at a conversion rate of like 1 in 1,000 or something, but it will still bring people in.
I don't know. I'm mixed on that. I think it has some sticking power, both being pushed by like Pokemon proper.
I don't think it's going to end.
And I think with more stuff coming out, it'll hype up. I've seen a lot of, maybe I'm in the right Twitter groups, but I'm seeing chatter of it online. People are liking it. People are liking how casual it is, how fun it is, how there is some skill expression to it for now, even with the limited card pool. I think it's going to stick around more than we anticipate, both in the like being supported kind of field from Pokemon itself, and I think the community is going to stick onto this more than I certainly expected. It's getting people that I didn't like, people in my friend group even that had no interest in learning Pokemon random stuff. I'm getting like, oh, hey, I just downloaded this thing. Do you know about it? And I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. I mean, it has that feel of what Go did to Pokemon years ago.
I do agree with that. I don't think it's going to have the sticking power that Go did. But I think that is the first thing that's going to be the biggest problem.
It's quite literally too hard and too expensive to get enough to play it. With one set, it's tolerable because you can get everything you need to build the theoretically okay playable deck. When there are two, and your resources that you're getting at the beginning of the game need to be stretched over 2 sets so that you can have even a meaningful chance of engaging, I think it's going to crash because it's just built so aggressively on it's so stingy with those materials. You're not getting cool things to add to your deck. You're trying to get a basic.
I think there's a reason for that, though.
I know what the reason is.
And I think that's so people don't get burnt out quickly. I think this is meant to be a long haul. And I think that, you don't get resources quickly. The game has been out for 3 days. So, we, in our kind of mindset and how we approach these games, I haven't gotten a lot of things because I've not put money into it, number one, and not just had enough time on the clock to get card packs. But it's kind of an unstoppable force in a sense where as time goes on, you will get packs, which means you will get those things. This is built for very long term. So I hear you in the short term where it's really hard to get those. But when you're opening 2 packs a day, God, that sounds like a weird sentence. When you're opening 2 packs a day, you will get there eventually. And it's built to do that.
You will, provided you're playing from the start. But if people have been opening 2 packs a day for 100 days, and there are 2 sets, so you join in, you get maybe 10 pulls worth of hourglasses over the start missions. You now have a lot of cards split into 3 mini packs, probably over 2 sets.
That's true.
So now you have to decide where they go, because you do not get generic crafting pieces. If you look in all of the descriptions, those points are per set.
Oh, are they?
Yes.
Oh.
So now you have to pick and choose how to get any individual line. And let's throw strategy out. You're not meta. You're just playing. But you want to do a deck and your 2 favorite Pokemon, both of the same type even, are Diplin. or like the Applin line. In the next set, Radiant Fruit. And you also really like Venusaur. You pouring resources into getting the cards for either, you don't get any closer to that. And the trainer cards are so expensive and so few that you can't even like go, well, I'll get some useful pieces here and there.
That's fair.
I feel like in the long term, you're going to be down to those 2 packs a day, and you will be pulled in so many different directions. It's going to feel like the game is forcing you to monetize. There are some things I really like. I think the Wonder Pick system is kind of fun.
Yeah, that is like the best way to get some cards. Like a 20% chance of getting something that you actually want is better than any other part of that game.
And I like that it's actual other people's pulls. So it's just very silly to like look over and see what other people got. And you're like, wow, you got super lucky. Let me try to double dip on that.
Yeah. And I think you can send them. I don't know how it works on the other end, but like I've sent people the thanks and they get something out of it. I don't know what, but
yeah, you get a little shop ticket.
So that's kind of cool. Like it's pretty well built overall. I think it's just we're figuring out how it works and everything. And also like a lot of the missions and everything, how you level up. Not as many of them are based on battling. Like this is very much collect first, battle second.
That is true. I do agree with that.
And we're not of that mindset most of the time. I am sometimes, but it's very much built collect first, battle second. Like it's got the whole binders thing, like your favorite card display. Like, ooh, look at what I can do. This is my favorite card that I've pulled so far. And I've dumped all of my flair points into it. So it's really cool and pretty. And that's what the extra cards are built for, other than trading when you get there, once that's finally unlocked. But like it's got things to do for just going hard on the collecting.
Once you get you have to spend flair to take your extra EXs or extra art cards. You have to spend those points to turn them into the premium currency. And not gold, but there's a currency you can use to like buy shop like cool art.
Oh, I can look up by duplicates.
That you get by breaking down EX and expensive cards. You pay your flair to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that. I had 3 of those like art Snorlaxes somehow. I was like, oh, I'll break this down into that currency. It lets you do it once you have 3 of them. And it's like, sure, it'll take almost all of your flair currency. I'm like, why does it cost me?
Why the price? I think the economy is just very unbalanced.
Again, built for long term.
Or people to dump a lot of money into it because they know it's going to take them days and days and days and days.
I think it's for you to dump a lot of money into because it's going to take you days and then they'll come out with another set by the time you do it and then you'll never craft anything.
Maybe. Or maybe not. I don't know.
I think it's not a maybe. I think it's probably.
I think that was how it was built. It feels absolutely like it's in there.
This feels like the intention.
Oh, wow. You can buy hourglasses for that many tickets. Wow.
They took away the paid thing on TCG Live because they're like, we know we've already got something.
That's the other thing that bothered me most.
We figured it out. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why we need to, but continue, Seth.
That's what I was walking into this game. Like I was seeing this, I was getting really frustrated just as a person about the existence of this app. And y'all probably heard me on the show in other places being like, this is stupid because all it shows is that they don't really care about the actual honest to goodness TCG that they're trying to convert people over to, or it's, popularity or success or whatever. I was getting real miffed about that. And I don't know that this helps. I'm trying to look past it. I'm trying to ignore it, but it feels like... You know that meme where there's the mom holding the kid up in the pool and there's the other kid that's drowning? It's that very much where the kid being held up is this TCG Pocket, supported by the official Pokemon company, not TPCI, and it's getting all the love and attention and special accolades and everything. It actually gets updates and functions.
I do think that's part of it because I think part of the inherent issue is that the TCG itself, like what would heal the TCG, and this is getting into probably territory that most people don't care about, but what would heal the Pokemon TCG the most right now putting us in line with Japan, right? Like the fact that we had over a decade ago, we started getting the video games as a simultaneous release, and the TCG is not at that point, I find very surprising, because I think it's very important to do is to bring the TCG to more people, right?
Yeah.
I think when you do that, you create like two groups of people, and it's because they released the cards differently in Japan. And honestly, I just say, go figure it out. Like, just figure it out. Like, put us on the same schedule. I honestly think if you were to release 2 sets here at the same time, just like they do in Japan sometimes, it would be fine. And honestly, I would like that more. Honestly, I would like it more.
I don't like having to have my brain looking forward and analyzing the meta for the future time, as well as right now what the meta is right now. I don't like that feeling.
No, I don't like it either. I don't like it, and I kind of wish they would stop it.
It brings me back to what I said a couple weeks ago when we were talking about like Gen 6 and all that kind of stuff and how we liked that. I don't have to ever memorize and then unlearn Doryuzu or Nadore again, because it's just Excadrill and Ferrothorn.
I think that would fix a lot of problems, though, so that you could have a product like TCG Pocket for the regular TCG instead of being like Japan and then everybody else, right?
Yeah, and like the official support for the simulator app, they can do simultaneous releases globally instead of weird. Yes,
exactly. This has been the biggest problem, is that we have that issue between the two, and it is just like a problem with Pokemon. I don't know how else to put it. Like, it's just a problem with Pokemon. Pokemon did it to themselves.
I will say, though, even that frustration existing still, I can bury it deep enough, but I can bury it. I am having a surprising amount of fun with Pocket. I only downloaded it yesterday, so I'm a little bit behind, but it's not as boring and awful as I thought it would be. I kind of like the autopilot thing because...
No, the gameplay is great, actually. Like, I think the gameplay is the highlight of it for me, because I think it's a lot of balances that I think Pokemon wishes they made, in all honesty. Like, you can see it in the EX designs, where the HP isn't like overinflated, and they've gone back to, instead of the ×2 for damage, which...
The plus 20. Gosh, that throws me off.
That screws me up all the time.
I'm also they've done things like make it consistent, because I remember Resistance didn't, they got rid of Resistance, but Resistance was not always the same.
Resistance wasn't always the same. Weakness was changed for like a hot minute. I forget when. I think it was like the Ruby Sapphire era where weakness was changed. I don't think this is them trying to be like, oh, hey, the Pokemon TCG is going to be different now.
No, I think this is the quick version.
This is the quick version of the TCG. This is the Pokemon Go. Like, I'll just, like, that's the way I'll describe it. This is the Pokemon Go of the TCG, which is very reasonable. I think it's very cool.
Have 5 minutes, play TCG. It's a fun, snap, bite-size experience.
Exactly.
It's the hors d'oeuvre of Pokemon TCG.
I mean, this is pretty much what I expected it to be. I don't know. Like, the Pokemon community likes to get excited about everything that they get.
Yeah.
I kind of saw it coming. I was just like, this is just going to be Duel Links, and Duel Links has kind of already fallen off and is kind of a meme in the Yu-Gi-Oh community. It's just going to be more of that for the Pokemon community.
Yeah.
We're going to do it. People are going to get really excited about it because it's something new and different. And then eventually everybody's going to, like, what's going to happen is you're going to get the people who come from Pocket to League.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean I have to set out prizes? What are those?
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna have stuff like that happen.
And that's okay. That's kind of what League is for, is to make that.
That is what League is for. Honestly, I am all for kids doing, like, people coming from this to League, because the more casual people that show up to League, the better, in my opinion.
Yeah, because then I can stomp them, and...
Not to stomp them, but I just think it creates a better environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me to pub stomp.
I like it, though. I was a big negative Nancy about it from the beginning. I still kind of partly am, like I said, but it's doing well. I'm warming up to it.
All right. Well, go ahead, Lynian. Yeah, if you have closing thoughts.
My closing thoughts are, I want this to be better.
I hope they fix the economy. I don't have faith that they will, but I hope they kind of like readjust.
Yeah, tweak the numbers, and I feel like this goes a lot further.
I would honestly be more inclined to spend money on it if the economy wasn't as aggressive as it is.
if I felt like putting anything in would just get me over the line, it would be one thing, but it doesn't feel like that. It feels like if I had 1,000 packs, I could get one card if I didn't pull it. And that makes me feel like putting money in is pointless.
Looking at it, it does make me feel that EXs are around to stay as well, like in the regular TCG.
Maybe
I'm reading too much into it, but I think there's a chance.
I think it's just the most recognizable. I really think it's just that simple. Most people in their target market, which appears to be by all of the UI and design, probably around 27 to 37. That was like their era. I don't think...
I mean, that's what they are now. And I think they're just going to stick with EXs. I hope they do in like the modern form. I love EXs being the Pokemon you evolve into. I really hate the EXs where it's just like Metagross is a basic. I think that's just big basic sucks. They make people evolve into big stuff.
Yeah, agreed with that format.
It's fine. We're getting Megas.
But, we're getting the owner's Pokemon next. We're getting Megas probably at some point with whenever ZA tie-in happens.
No, next. Almost certainly next, because we have Z to A, and the only thing we know about the game is they flashed the Mega logo.
Oh no, they're coming to the TCG, but I don't think they're coming for a hot minute. I'm curious. This is just like a TCG thought, not even a TCG Pocket. I'm curious to see how they handle like rotation when we're still stuck in the Scarlet and Violet blocks for like an extra year. I wonder if like they'll go from 3 blocks to 4 blocks or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
To be weird about it. It's interesting.
It'll be funky.
It's gonna be funky. I'm kind of hoping that like the new Pokemon cycle is just like 4 years. Like I'm really like that makes sense to me. You should do that. Slow down, please.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, this is a good place to stop. You guys can let us know what you think about Pokemon TCG Pocket. Are you more involved now with the TCG? To be fair, like Seth and I have been for like the past few years, but yeah, are you, is this interesting to you? Do you like it? Are you even going to download it? Have you not downloaded it? Do you hate it? Let us know. puclpodcast@gmail.com. With that, we're going to kick it on over to our Pokemon of the episode. We'll catch you on the flip-flop.
Poke of the episode.
Welcome to our Pokemon of the episode. Our Pokemon of the episode this week is National X number 150, Mewtwo, the genetic Pokemon.
Its Pokemon Y Dex entry reads, a Pokemon created by recombining Mew's genes. It's said to have the most savage heart among Pokemon.
It is savage.
Second place, Tinkaton.
Tinkaton.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
But only with one specific interaction.
Yes.
Yeah, you and the dice.
I don't even know what to tell you about Mewtwo. Like it is on that TCG pack. Wait, do they have it on Bulbapedia yet? Like, if I'm like, hey, I want to look up in the TCG.
Look it up in TCG.
Mewtwo, like,
that's a good question.
Is it in like is there just like, hey, this is the TCG Pocket card? It doesn't look like it is though. Actually,
no, it doesn't look like it.
It does not have it. Interesting. Good to know.
It apparently only learns Hypnosis by TCG in the Mewtwo Expedition 20 set.
I think the only one in there's technically 2 in rotation, I think, right now, because I believe the V-Star is F block.
I think it is.
Yeah, the V and the V-Star are still F block from the Pokemon Go set.
And there's the Electric type EX.
And there's the Electric type EX that everybody plays in Miraidon because it's the only Electric type basic EX that's terrestrialized.
Exactly, so you can immediately pop it off Miraidon and get the stadium.
It's about to not be played anymore once that Pikachu comes out, so it's fine.
It's out, baby. Or at least we'll be on Friday when
we'll be Friday.
Surging whatever.
Surging Sparks. Surging Sparks.
Speaking of sparking, I have to ask this because I don't know if I'll ever have a better chance. Does anyone else just like strongly associate Mewtwo with Dragon Ball?
He does remind me of Frieza, yeah.
A Frieza,
yeah.
But
yeah.
But even beyond that, like I don't know why it must be like the late 90s.
I think it's that overlap.
14-year-old boy energy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I just they are one and the same. I have to remind myself that Mewtwo will not be showing up in Sparking Zero.
My father cooler doesn't understand me.
I hate like feeling nostalgia towards it because it's just like, oh, it is a cool Pokemon, and it was like the legendary back in the day, right?
I can't feel nostalgia for it. It never goes away.
Yeah.
I know, right? No, but like I feel nostalgia for like the anime when they actually like tried to do something cool in the anime by making the anime like work with the movie. Apparently there was supposed to be more in the anime to like lead up to the movie than there actually was. They just never got it. But like Mewtwo's escape that you see at the beginning of the Pokemon movie, is actually present in the anime. Like there's just like a random scene where like Ash is walking and you just see Mewtwo fly up in the sky.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So I mean there were crossovers before they decided to make like every movie essentially separate from like them, not to make them not canon, but they
in the world, but
well they're not canon. They're just they just don't have any impact on the rest of the story.
Exactly.
They're canon flexible.
They're all self-contained.
Yeah.
Well, they all apparently happened because there is like one Pokemon special that happened. It called like it's something Mirage Island or something like that. It's a weird special where the
Mastermind
Pikachu
of Mirage Pokemon.
Yeah, that's it. Yes, that sounds right.
Which has Mewtwo in it.
Yeah, well, because Pikachu ends up getting kidnapped and like they get his memories to see all the legendary Pokemon he's seen, and it's just flashbacks to all of the movies. In it. Yeah. It's interesting. My favorite version of Mewtwo though is still like the one from the manga. I know we don't talk about the manga a lot here. Yeah, with the spoon, because that was the original way they imagined Mewtwo, is like with the spoon.
Because
and
it's like Blaine's genes or something like that.
Yeah, they mix Blaine's genes with Mew's genes to be able to make Mewtwo. And so Mewtwo
makes it human-like.
So like Mewtwo and Blaine are like psychically connected essentially.
Like Piccolo and what's his name?
Yeah, kind of.
Dende?
No, Kami. Oh. Piccolo and Kami.
Yeah, it's really silly though.
Nail?
That, like,
I don't know. There are too many.
Nail. Blaine didn't eat him.
I think it eventually gets erased though, because I think Entei burns like Blaine's arm at some point and burns the genes out or something. It's something stupid.
Yes.
Yeah, you just burn
that thing that burns do.
Yes. That is how
That's
that works.
How that works.
That's how that works.
I will say one thing that the weirdest thing that inspired young me from reading Mewtwo's dex entries. This is going to sound really stupid.
I'm ready.
It does.
It's silver dex entry. It usually remains motionless to conserve energy so that it may unleash its full power in battle.
Okay.
I remember consciously thinking to myself, like, I've got a long day ahead of me. I need to be like Mewtwo and not
conserve
move.
my energy.
And conserve my energy. And then later on in like biology class, when I learned what it was that created that energy, I would just like, if I could feel that I was going to have a long day, I would just say to myself, adenosine triphosphate. And then just a picture of Mewtwo would flash in my head. And then it'd be like, okay, that was really stupid.
I'm so unsurprised by this.
I still do that. It happens still where it's just like, I need to, no.
I am so unsurprised by this. I'm like quite literally unsurprised.
I'm a leg bouncer. That's one of my just like things that I do while I'm just sitting. And I would have the thought come into my head, no, you're moving. You need to conserve that energy. Stop bouncing your leg, you dummy.
Is this how you master ADHD? Is this how you master ADHD?
Yes, this is how you master ADHD. Be like Mewtwo.
Look, I'm not... Listeners at home, I do not approve of the Mewtwo tulpa that is given to cure your ADHD.
No, it doesn't cure. It just masks it. It's different.
I can tell you it didn't work.
I just imagine Seth staring out into the distance, trying to stand perfectly still, holding
like
meal
Mewtwo.
Replacement in one hand. And
the less movement I have to do, the more Soylent I drink, the less I have to move.
Oh, you remember when they remade the first Pokemon movie and they gave Mewtwo new armor and they tried to make that a thing for like a hot minute?
It's in Go and all that kind of stuff, I think.
It's in Go, and I have it in Go, and it'll never go anywhere else. But like they tried to make it happen, and I was just like, this is really weird. I don't understand why they made the armor so like it's very much more like Japanese anime than it was before.
Very over the top.
It's very over. I don't think I've ever actually. I still think to this day I still haven't watched the remake of that movie, and I'm really okay with that.
It's fine.
No. All I know is they got rid of the best part of that movie,
which is the Minnesota Vikings.
Which is the Minnesota Vikings joke. Yes,
The Minnesota Vikings. What?
In the first Pokemon
I thought
movie,
all the Vikings were in Minnesota.
Yeah, I thought all the Vikings were in Minnesota. Yeah,
I forgot about that.
I miss when anime was very intentional about like when they did the dubs. Like they were just like there was an air of ridiculousness. They weren't like over the top ridiculous, but they would do things like that. Like it reminds me like Digimon was the masters of that. Like the Digimon anime is like the master where they just like make weird off the cuff references like that.
I like the early on tie-ins to the real world before Pokemon decided that it was going to be kind of its own world.
Yes.
With things like Misty holding up a cross to Ghastly.
Yes. No.
And Arcanine running across China.
Gen 1 Pokemon, before they realized it was going to be like an international phenomenon.
Yeah.
Is some like before the Pokemon style guide happened, it was awesome.
Yeah. Christianity and Pokemon
it was
confirmed.
Kanto, but Kanto is not like a made-up
Kanto's
place.
a place.
No, it's not.
Like Kanto's just a place.
To be fair, it was never called Kanto in any media until Gen 2, I don't think.
Really?
Yeah.
No, it was.
I think the anime would have called it like Pallet Town in Kanto.
No, they didn't call it Pallet Town in Kanto.
Really?
No.
Huh.
That did not happen. It was I believe it was like very late that they called it. It was certainly based on the Kanto region, like in Japan.
100%.
But
well, it's weird because Johto is not the name of the adjacent province.
There is no map of Kanto with there's a map of Kanto with the title World Map with no mention of the name Kanto in the English manuals. And then until the release of Pokemon Gold and Silver, Kanto's name was only seen once in the Japanese Generation 1 games, upon viewing the town map at Blue's house.
Oh.
Well, yeah.
So that is the only time it's ever mentioned prior to that.
It is like up in front and center, though, if you're seeing it there, maybe.
Yeah, but only in the Japanese games. Like it's in the US, we never even call it that, right? So,
okay, fair enough. Didn't think of that.
Yeah, I knew it was a very like we didn't know it was like at least in like the lexicon at the time, it wasn't called Kanto until we got Johto games.
That's true. Where you had to make the distinction between.
Where we had to make the distinction, and it was never like laid out specifically, at least for the US audience.
Yeah,
and it was Kanto. And honestly, at that point, it didn't matter. There was one Pokemon world, so you didn't really care.
Yeah,
right. Like
yeah.
That's I mean that's a weird bit of trivia, but Mewtwo was in Kanto, so
it's the only region in the Pokemon world that shares its name with the real world region it was based on.
Yeah,
huh.
Mewtwo is
right. They just did a Lola, which to this day bothers me.
Yeah,
Alola is a terrible name.
That's close.
It's a terrible name.
It would be like if they named a place in the United States Hlelo. It's like
yes,
yeah.
I don't like this, actually.
It's weird. But yeah, Mewtwo's good. Mewtwo's a good Pokemon. It's Psychic type. I don't know what to tell you, guys. Like, it's not...
Its birthday's February 6th.
It is, actually.
And it has the highest every stat of Psychic types. Highest attack stat, Mewtwo.
Probably not special defense.
Special attack stat, Mewtwo.
It's not special defense, though, I don't think, right? Like...
No,
I don't think so. But I mean,
it might still have highest speed, though.
Mewtwo Y probably certainly because like that's like what 140 or something stupid.
Yeah,
it's tied with Mega Rayquaza for highest base stat total of all obtainable things.
Yeah, because it also hit 780. The only reason that pushed Mega Rayquaza over the edge in Gen 6 was that it didn't have to hold the Mega Stone.
Yeah, exactly.
If Mewtwo didn't have to hold the Mega Stone, it would be in the same camp.
Yeah, or Eternamask Eternatus. That would be silly.
Yeah. I do have a prediction for
it doesn't exist. It is a boss mechanic. It is as real as the stupid Pokestar Studios thing.
That's also true, but it would be funny if you could use it.
I have a prediction for Z to A that we're certainly seeing Mega Mewtwo, X and Y in that game. Like there's no doubt in my mind.
Mega Mewtwo Z.
But honestly, I do believe that they're gonna remove Mega Stones from the need to Mega Evolution is going to evolve to where like it's just between the bond of the trainer
you have
and the Pokemon.
To feed it to the Pokemon.
No, you don't have to feed it, but like I think it just gets to the point where because if you look at the last two big mechanics in the games, they just dump the held item mechanic entirely.
Yeah.
And on like
if they don't have held items in the game, then yeah, they'll probably
for sure.
the items.
Oh, absolutely. Like it'll be like, oh yeah, it's gonna be like Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee at that point. And I think that might still be. I think when it gets, if Mega Evolution will probably get transferred to Gen 10. I'm gonna say probably as like 60% right now because I've been hurt. And
I wouldn't even say that. I don't even think it's 51.
I'm assuming it's going to be post laser too, so the stones will.
If we get any new megas, I think it's 100% gonna be in Gen 10.
Zygarde.
To be really funny, you're rebuilding all of the city, and it's like, great. I'm glad there was nothing else going on right now. And in the distance, you just see a missile. You just see the energy beam go up.
Yes.
Well, it was like 1,000 years, though, right?
That was 3,000 years. That was 3,000 years.
3,000 years. So we can't be going that far back.
No, we're not going. We're either. I don't. Are we even going back? We don't even know if we're going back. Right?
We don't know. We have no idea.
We could be going
we don't,
forward.
But given everything there, it looks like it's the 1880s or 1890s redevelopment of Paris.
I that would be my gut feeling as well, but I don't know. Like I'm still surprised.
Was a major thing that was the reason that the main attraction in the center of the city is being built.
Exactly.
That is what it is.
I think that is the most likely scenario. I don't want to close the book because they could surprise me.
Yeah, they could. I'm just saying that that's what I think is likely. Also, I haven't been looking at the leaks, so I'm not trying to couch anything.
There were no leaks for it. There were very, very few leaks. But yeah, all right. This has been Mewtwo.
Yeah.
We're gonna kick it on over now, guys, to our mailbag.
It's mail time! Send in your emails!
Welcome to our mailbag. Our mailbag is the part of the show where you can email us at puclpodcast@gmail.com and let us know what you think of the thing that we asked you, which last week was about spoopy Pokemon, because it was Halloween during the week, which was good. I had kids show up to my house and ring my doorbell when I was not home.
Nice.
And I scared them on my Ring doorbell.
Hello, children.
Ah!
Hello, children. There's no candy here. I am not home.
Give me your social security number.
I was actually really surprised. If you email us and we like your email, this segment is also brought to you by the fictional energy drink Green Tauros, the energy drink that gives you hooves.
Spooky feet.
Hooves, I think.
And we give out the Green Tauros badge to anybody we deem worthy. This week we only have one email for what's your favorite spoopy Pokemon, or what's the spookiest part of Pokemon. It's going to be from Reptile. I believe Seth's going to read it. Next week, of course, we want you to know about your TCG Pocket opinions. Send those in. Without further ado, though, Seth, you let her rip.
That's my cue. How do you boo, Puckle Crew?
I like that.
To that I say, ah.
I like that a lot.
That's really funny. Reptile here. As someone who is not generally a fan of horror or spooks, the most fun I get to have for Halloween is taking an excuse to get in my Guzma cosplay and hand out Pokemon card packs to local children. However, one sort of spooky thing I do enjoy is exploring abandoned places. Whether in real life or in games like Hollow Knight, there's a certain air to a place that was once inhabited, but is no longer, that keeps me coming back every time. Ooh.
Well, now it's inhabited by you.
I am intrigued.
I have been hooked by your lead. Excellent writing. With that in mind, a few abandoned places in the Pokemon series stick out to me in particular. Sure, the abandoned mall on Ula Ula Island is chock full of ghost Pokemon, but since it's a forced location, it doesn't give the same feeling of exploring an unknown place.
Oh, I believe that.
I'm looking for somewhere, or I'm looking for something more sinister and isolated. And the first place that comes to mind is Sinnoh's old chateau. Yeah.
That's a good one.
It is a good one. I love the place, mainly because Rotom's there, but whatever. Entering an otherwise empty place to find a television set strangely playing static is a horror trope for a reason, and if you don't already know about Rotom, it's a complete mystery as to what's going on. It's been a while since I've played through Sinnoh, so the details fail me, but I remember it being a genuine thrill, just like going through a real abandoned place. Although I think that even pales in comparison to the shivers that went down my spine the first time I entered the Abyssal Ruins in Pokemon White. Not only are the ruins out of the way in the post-game, but there's almost nothing in the game that hints at their existence. You dive into a pool and suddenly find yourself swimming into a massive underwater structure, seeing strange lettering on the walls in a maze of corridors and twists and turns. There are no wild Pokemon or any signs of life, but then, after a few steps, you hear something coming closer. It seems far away, so you ignore it. Then it comes again, closer, like something is chasing you. Maybe now you don't remember the way back out. You keep going, closer and closer, until something, some force, launches you out and back to the surface. Luckily, the nature of the ruins wasn't spoiled for me, and they were a thrill to experience for the first time, even after knowing that there's not really much to do in them. I forgot about that, honestly. I didn't remember any of that.
I don't know. I just remember they were better about putting those in the older games, about just putting in the random things.
Yeah.
So I do miss that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I do too. Anyway, thanks for once again listening to my rambling. And I'd also like to plug my favorite spooky Pokemon fan content, the song Lavender Town Syndrome by Cam Steady. Check it out, and maybe the onslaught of Mariah Carey can be held back by the ghosts of Halloween for a couple more weeks.
Too late, I already did it.
I can tell you that didn't work.
That didn't work, I already did it. I already did it.
She's broken out of her ice block.
It's like Groundhog's Day, right? Like
it is.
Does Mariah Carey see your shadow?
The funniest meme I saw was like from Lord of the Rings. Yeah. Anyway, yep. That's the email. Huzzah.
Huzzah.
Thank you, Reptile.
Thank you, Reptile. Get the Green Taurus badge. The best email of the day.
Yeah.
Competition was really stiff.
Yep.
All right, but yes, you too can be a Puckle mailbag featured if you send us an email at puclpodcast@gmail.com letting us know what you think of Pokemon TCG Pocket. Please send that in. Like, I would genuinely like to hear somebody who isn't like a TCG person, like the three of us are.
Yeah.
To know what their experiences are. So please send those in. Very curious. But yeah. With that, if you want to keep hanging out with us throughout the week and maybe you want to be part of the Puckle Badge Bonanza, you can come to our Discord at pucklediscord.com. You can, of course, also come over and hang out with us over on socials at Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Additionally, you can come on over to our Twitch at twitch.tv/thepucklepodcast, as well as our YouTube at youtube.com/pucklepodcast. If you want to help support the show, you can go to Patreon at patreon.com/pucklepodcast. And you can also go to Troll and Toad and buy cardboard instead of TCG Pocket points.
Woo.
And use code PucklePod5 at checkout for a 5% discount. With that, guys, I have been Trainer Thatch.
I have been Spooky Seth Milo.
And I have been Lynian.
It's November 4th, Seth.
It's November, but the spooks still arise.
And with that, here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's closing time.